All right, we're live.
Hola Madrid, this is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. If you guys are new here, don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. Big up our sponsors, Manscaped. Go check them out. LBI20 to get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com. Go show some love to Fanatics.
Hola,
The
Madrid,
link.
this is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast.
I can hear Farooq. I can
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, yeah, it
Okay.
was just go on and go on, go on. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Big up Fanatics. Go check them out. Use the affiliated link in the description below so that you guys they know that you guys came through us. Obviously the biggest sports apparel collection online. Go show them some love. Also, we are officially powered by the Talksport Fan Network, the biggest sports radio station in the world. Go show their social some love. But yeah, let's get into it, Farooq. You've been saying this for time. That Carlo is someone who is very keen on playing fossil football, who isn't really proactive enough for the club the size of ours, doesn't really learn from his mistakes. Um, yeah, the list goes on and on. Although, like, I'm not as livid as I was, I hope you can say that as well, right? Like, the Clasico loss was a different, uh, the Clasico loss in the league was a different kind of, uh, you know, despair, embarrassment, whatever you want to call it. But tonight, since it was, the stakes was kind of lower, and it was basically the equivalent of a preseason friendly, kind of a mid-season friendly, as they are nowadays. It doesn't hurt as much. I hope this is a welcome wake up call. Before we get to the negatives, I'm just saying that this is a wake up call for everyone. Not just the backroom staff, but also the players on the pitch. They have to really take up much more accountability than they have shown. Some of the senior heads, so-called senior heads, they aren't necessarily your 30-year-olds, but the now seasoned players we have, they had to take a lot more responsibility on the pitch. I didn't see them really doing that much tonight. We can say this, age old uh, excuse right now, and claim this as a glorified friendly, and we wouldn't have really taken much from it if we had won the trophy, right? Like that's absolute bullshit. We would cherish a win over Barcelona any day, no matter what competition it is. Like we as fans really fret over, the Clasico losses in the US as well. This had a bit more riding on it compared to the American Clásicos. But talk to me, Farooq. What can we learn from today? Right. I hope the technical staff, they get to learn some valuable lessons. But Farooq, after tonight, what are your major takeaways?
Man, like I was saying to you just before we went live, the big issue here is like we consider goals that were literally carbon copy of what happened at the Bernabeu. You understand? I can understand
Mm,
what you're saying, and also I think that's a very
yeah.
huge general consensus among all fans is that like okay, it doesn't hurt as much as the game at the Bernabeu because like that was a home game, that was a game in the league, that literally Barca won and moved 6 points clear. So like that was a game that had a lot riding on it. Of course, like yeah, you want to win this tournament, but it's not like it's something massive, like even if you lose
Mm,
it or if you win it, like it doesn't change anything per se. But it's Barcelona
yeah.
and it's a classical, so you always wanna, show your best. But the big issue there is, like as you said, okay, what can we learn from this? Like we literally just repeated the game we saw at the Bernabeu. The technical staff, the coaching staff didn't learn anything, and like it's still more of the same. And the thing is, it's very unfortunate because like you look at it now, like they targeted Lucas Vasquez, the centre backs and all that,
Mm, mm-hmm,
but this is what we are left with for the rest of the season.
mm,
Okay, David Alaba is back, but we don't know what David Alaba is going to look like. And let's not forget, even before he got injured, he was already looking shabby, you understand? So now he's
yeah.
already injured out for a year. How's he going to look? We don't know. There is no one to replace Lucas Vasquez. It's just Lucas Vasquez and nothing. You understand?
Mm,
So it's
mm.
basically Rudiger, Chouameni, and Lucas Vasquez, and these were the weak links today. You understand? So the question
Yeah.
now becomes, how do we go for a whole half season with this?
Farooq, the thing is, like we have been saying for time, right? Vasquez, we like how many times have we come on and really slated Vasquez, right? Like we can't really slate him because he should be he should be kind of reprieved of any extensive critique. Like he is someone who is playing out of position. He is not a seasoned right back. He is someone. who kind of should have learned the trade by now, people say. But man, when you're past, I don't know what, 30, and then you start playing a new position, and the other thing that most people kind of overlook is the fact that Vasquez is exceptionally small for the the position. Like, yeah, he could get away with it probably up top, but in a position where you're going to be constantly bombarded from the opposite wing with crosses for 90 minutes, despite his small stature, I do believe Vasquez is kind of adept in the air. Like, he is, compared to his relatively small stature, he's decent. But you can't rely on that for a whole season. And we knew this. I mean, more than Carlo, the management should be looking at it and kind of providing him with options. But I do think Carlo has to still take blame for having options like Lorenzo Aguado, for having options like I forget the other guy's name, um, for Fortea in the academy. We have options there that probably he might not think is good enough, but should be given a little more of little more of a chance to basically kind of feature for the first team, because at this point we're looking at going into big games and praying to God instead of watching the actual game, right? Copa del Rey is here. Thursday, Copa del Rey at home. The perfect opportunity for Lorenzo Aguado to get a start and prove his mettle once again. He was decent. He wasn't nothing extraordinary against Minera. He can really stake a claim for this spot because the door is wide open. I mean, Vasquez, he can do a job, but like we saw again tonight against top opposition, he's going to be found out pretty hard, and it's going to get to a point where we won't have enough time to make a comeback, or the team morale is going to be so short by midway point in the game that the comebacks of old, the comebacks we have grown up with, are going to be, things that we can only rely on history to tell us. I mean, I don't want my club to be in that position, Farouk. Vasquez is a foregone conclusion. Tchouaméni, Javier was mentioning, Tchouaméni this, Tchouaméni that. I was just kind of the opinion, oh yeah, Carlos trying to save a mediocre signing right now, please the investors, please the board members, and kind of save a signing that kind of now looks like he is not the part of the best equation at Madrid. How do you handle the situation, Farouk? Asensio was playing well. Tchouaméni was, instantly called back in, and Asensio was sent back onto the bench, given Tchouaméni's experience, seniority, and whatnot, right?
I mean, this is what Carlo is like. There is nothing new here. This is what Carlo is like. He would rather play, Tchouaméni out of position than bring in Asensio. But I think the point is right now, like, Tchouaméni is reaching a point where, like, there is just no forgiveness anymore. You understand? There is just no, at least based on what Asensio has been showing so far, I think he's gonna reach a point where there is just no forgiveness anymore. You understand? Like, that you cannot just overlook what's happening. And of course, that's until, again, Asensio also makes a mistake. Because let's not forget, like, Asensio also is a very raw player, It's not like Asensio is like, someone who's played, in the league for a long time. No, he's literally come from, from the second team as well. So it's not like he's a seasoned warrior or anything like that. So he's also going to be found out sooner or later. So the point is, for me, you mentioned Aguado and all those guys. The point is, like, these people, this is not what Real Madrid does. This is not Barcelona, where, like, you bring in Balde, you bring in Casado, you bring in, Yamal and all those guys. This is not what Real Madrid does. We just bring in people, even if you're 1 year old, as long as you're good enough to play, you're there and in there. And the point is, we know that Carlo has not trusted, hasn't trusted academic players throughout his career. That's just the thing. Understand? So now I don't think, now out of necessity, these guys just come in and they plug in a hole. No, this is the issue. No, they do not plug in a hole. People will continue to target those areas. Like, even if you take away Tchouaméni and put in Asensio, Asensio is going to be targeted. Asensio is going to be targeted when he plays as a fullback. You're telling me now you're going to go and play, okay, we have to play, I think, we don't play. Do we play Leipzig or Salzburg? Which one do we play?
Salzburg,
right? Okay.
At
so
home.
That's the thing, like, like, you go and you play those guys, like, they're going to come with the attackers and just target, whoever the likes of Aguado and the likes of Asensio. This is just a thing, when you go and you play whoever you play, in the league or in the Champions League, or even in the Copa. Like, if we play in the Copa, we play Celta Vigo in the Copa. Okay, okay, it's a home game, but do you think the likes of Aspas aren't going to go and target the likes of Aguado and Asensio? How will these guys hold up against this? This is the question, like this is a really big question mark there. And again, as you said, everything goes back to the planning of the team. Eventually, like, okay, you can lay a lot of blame on Carlo Ancelotti or like there, but eventually everything goes back to that initial planning. Yeah, Carlo hasn't adapted as well, but the club hasn't provided the right tools to actually, be able to withstand this storm.
Why the fuck are we so stubborn, Farouk? We lost Carvajal, who has been one of our, biggest, cornerstones in the double we won last season, and we knew we wouldn't have a natural replacement for him, right? Apart from the stopgap options of playing Vasquez or Fede down our right hand side and hoping and praying for the best. Like we had the whole of November, October, and whatnot to kind of test waters, reach out to people and look for an option to get on board, because now we're in the first week of January, right? Like we aren't really kind of known to make drastic winter signings, but I've seen guys like Essien come on, I've seen Adebayo come on back in the day. Why can't we make that a possibility? Why can't someone out of favor at any okay club across Europe be an option for us temporarily? Like, why can't we really entertain that as an option? Like, I don't think the dressing room harmony is going to be that impacted. I don't think the wage demands of anyone who is going to be part of that kind of an equation is going to be too steep. So it just begs the question, like, are we being too heroic? Are we being so naive that we are kind of relying on, Carlos eyebrow to carry us over to the summer? Like it's like beyond ludicrous how responsible we are as a club in dealing with such a critical position. Like this isn't, let's be honest, this isn't a position that we are stacked in. We should have been keeping tabs on it since time, and we haven't really done that.
I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, I think the word you use, naive, actually also, comes into play here as well. Like, it's just about the fact that, okay, like, Carlo has masked a lot of the, Carlos winning, in the past 3 years has masked a lot of the deficiencies of the squad, like one way or another, like we've played a lot of, heroism football and we've won through this or that, even last year you had a lot of injuries, but still we came through, winning the double as also. I think the club just expects that, Carlo will find a way to continue to mask, these deficiencies. But one thing we've seen is, at least from my perspective, has been that I've always been a critic of Carlo and his coaching staff in the sense that we're winning stuff, but we're winning stuff based on individual moments. We're winning stuff that we're going into games, into big games, into games against the Cities, the Barcelonas, Atletico Madrid, and all these guys, and we never look like we're going to win. Okay, we do eventually win these ties, but we never look like we're going to win. This is the unfortunate part. It's not just about like, okay, it's Barcelona and we don't have Barcelona has a number and we can't, we have a psychological block against Barcelona. This is not the point. The point is, in all of Carlos' matches, show me a big game, a big proper game where we look like we're gonna win. Last year we needed Joselu to come and bang a double against Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu. Before that, we needed penalties to eliminate Man City. You understand? So you look at these games and you feel like, okay, yeah, you guys are winning, but like you're winning just based on the toss of a coin. You eventually one day that toss of a coin is going to go against you, and this is what we're seeing now as well. This season as well. Let's not forget the game against Borussia Dortmund. It was again hero from Vinicius Jr. We lost anyways against against AC Milan, right? And then we lost
and Bilbao.
Okay, exactly, Bilbao. So you look at we lost at Anfield to Liverpool. You look at these games and you feel like, okay, like, what are these guys? How, like, these are the games Real Madrid comes to play. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, we're not gonna play. We're not coming here to play games against Mineira, against Mallorca, and those guys. No, we're here to play. The games at Anfield. Go to. Milan came to us, but like go to St. Siro, show a good performance. Play the Giants in Europe. Go to the Allianz, the HL, and so on and so forth. But like all of these games, we've always looked like second best. We've never looked like we're gonna win. We've never looked like we're gonna win. This is just the thing, and the club is continuing to rely on the fact that Carlo is gonna, keep winning, keep performing and stuff like. So this is the point. Like this has been written on the wall, but the point is the winning has masked all these deficiencies. And again, I keep saying this. One of the reasons why Carlo is in the job is because he's a yes man. This is the thing. He's not gonna like ruffle the feathers. This is one of the primary reasons why he's in the job. Of course, he's a very successful coach. He's a winning coach. There is no one that will doubt, the winning aspect or the winning mentality of Carlo Ancelotti. But also, he's a yes man. He's a yes man. This is the point. He's a yes man. If he wasn't a yes man, we have a new centre back and a couple of new fullbacks. But he's a yes man. Come on, like we have a lot of centre backs in Spain. We had a lot of centre backs in Spain.
It's almost like we have an aversion towards, looking out for players in our own league, unless we, previously owned someone and, send them out with a buyback clause or some shit. We really don't go after, players in the same division. Yeah, we do look after some players maybe in the Segunda or the Tercera, but like I've rarely seen, especially in recent history, for us to go back after someone who has some potential playing in the same league. I don't know, man. I'm beyond frustrated with the whole thing. Like you said, Carlo has to take blame not just for the tactics, also for being a yes man to the whole hierarchy system that we have, implemented on the club. Like we should be holding these men accountable for basically kind of, getting to this point. Because coming into the season, we knew we'll be having some major shortages in crucial positions if one or two men had to be faced with an injury, right? Like imagine Fede had a crucial injury. We'll be looking way worse off, Like that's the same case with probably if Thibaut had an injury last year, and we kind of salvaged it because Lunin was playing out of his skin, and the whole club as a unit looked like they wanted to prove something. And no centre forward was also part of the equation that kind of led us to believe this is an anomaly, like where we can kind of expect the club to learn from what they had to endure the season and be a little more street smart, a little more self-aware about what they have to do come, May, June, July. We barely did any significant business. Like it just goes to show that we are just relying on, I don't know, Juju to help us out. And like I've seen Barcelona, I've been paying close attention to Barcelona's iffy form in the past couple of months. And Farouk, on God, okay, the teams they play, they don't give them the respect that we showed, especially in the first half. And second half, it's a it's a case that was already closed the moment Szczesny walked off. Barcelona knew what they had to do. But in the first half, the amount of respect we showed them, the amount of times we let them play through us, like I have no idea, why Carlo went with the pivot of Camavinga and Fede. Now, I know it's for a reason, for a very valid reason, to shut down any threat, especially down our right. And if Fede or Vasquez gets doubled on, we have Camavinga, who is a decent recover of the ball. He is known for being exceptional at it. Let's be honest. But if you're going with that pivot, as your base for your formation, we have to be a lot more aggressive. I know we were aggressive in parts of the game where when Barcelona was in their own half and trying to build up, we had a pretty high line, trying to press them. Fede, Mbappe, Vinny, they were all trying to hound them. But as soon as that broke a couple of times, we lacked any confidence to kind of foresee what was going to happen if we didn't continue to implement that. Because these guys, they were very, very clever in the fact that Pedri and Gavi and Lewandowski, all of them, they just knew that a couple of passes in behind, it's game over, especially down our right. If they could find that one killing ball, it's over. It's 1v1 against Vasquez, and he's not winning against Rafinha, he's not winning against Lewandowski, he's not winning against Balde. He's winning against no one. Couple that with Tchouaméni, who, all throughout the season, right? Like, he would have a couple of redeeming moments against mid-tier opposition, or lower end of the league opposition. He would look okay, decent, but I still have felt he looked less sure of himself compared to someone who plays the position like Asensio. So I have no idea why the coaching staff didn't see this coming, Farouk. They should have dealt with the situation so much better than they did tonight. Like, that's the honest truth. If we take better precaution against Barcelona's high line and the way they are so proactive going forward, we could have dealt with this much better than we did. That's the honest truth.
No, definitely, I totally agree with that. That's why, when at the beginning I told you, like, the point is, yesterday I was reading something, and Carlo was like, "Oh, they made a clear assessment," or was it a truthful assessment? Or he used the word like, anyways, he was saying like they made an assessment of what happened at the Bernabeu, and it's not going to repeat itself. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about we giving them respect, I would say like we are too naive. Like we just, I don't know, man. Like honestly, I just, we can talk about okay, the management not providing enough, but let's say the coaching staff honestly just like they shot the bed with this game honestly. Like Kylian Mbappe started the game with a beautiful, fantastic goal, but literally everything from there just went downhill. They literally shot the bed. One pass and they're through. Literally almost every move Barca made was almost like a goal. It was almost a goal. And 10 goals for the red card. If it wasn't a red card, like I'm telling you, Sunil, we might have a dozen goals today. It was, really, really shambolic. Honestly, like it was shambolic defending.
Farouk, Rudiger for the first goal. Someone who we don't associate with shambolic defending, right? Like you have told me, he doesn't look as invincible as he was last year. There you go. Another example of why he has looked like he has kind of regressed a bit, because he's pressing thin air. He's trying to basically be the trigger when there should be a bit more cover around him. He goes out of position to press.
Exactly.
I don't know who it was, and then he's got out of position, and Lamal just takes Tchouaméni for a ride. I have no idea how Tchouaméni does in training. Like I have no idea, because all we get is what, like 5-6 minutes of edited, curated footage on the YouTube channel. If we actually got to show how Tchouaméni does against the likes of Mbappe and Vinicius especially, we would kind of have a better gauge to kind of understand what is he in training. But what I see against top class opposition and like some efficient wingers or efficient attackers, Tchouaméni is just kind of he like in my, like, I haven't played football at the top level, right? But from what I see on the pitch, Tchouaméni is kind of trying to understand what is the best possible move for me to do. Should I lunge in now, or should I basically give the attacker a bit more time to kind of make a decision and go for the block? Because more often than not, I do see Tchouaméni putting his body on the line just because he isn't aware, or he isn't, probably in his mind, he doesn't think he's good enough to make a vital tackle and save the day. Like I do think that's what he's going through. If we have someone who is playing such a vital position under pressure, he is unsure about his decision making in like given the stakes. Like, can we really rely on him to be the guy to carry us until May, June, or whatever the fuck we're going to play until, right? Like it's looking like we just need someone who knows the position inside out to play the position, because Farouk, we can't get away with Jude Bellingham playing as false nine, similar to how we are kind of trying to plug in Tchouaméni at centre back. Centre back is such a crucial position. Like, one mistake and you're finito.
I totally agree with you, man. I honestly don't see how this, works in the long run, and this is why, I also kind of feel like there's a, the someone has to react.
Don't you think that also impacts the synergy? Rudiger is also kind of like, oh fuck, this guy is completely a headless defender. Like, I have to kind of worry about not just my part of the equation. I have to cover for him as well. And then he has Vasquez on the other side as well. So just imagine Rudiger's psyche going into a game like this. I think it's beyond fixing at this point in Jan, unless we get a proper signing at right back or at centre back.
I think this is the point, like they eventually have to, someone has to make a decision. Someone has to react. Either the management reacts by, signing a centre back, or I don't know, a full back, or the coaching staff reacts by reshuffling the team. Because the thing is, just like with Tchouaméni and Lucas Vasquez, man, we're gonna have a lot of nights like this.
Or Fede at right back. Fuck it, Fede at right back. We're gonna lose his athleticism. We're gonna lose his decision making and his his lungs in the middle of the field where we needed the most, but at least it gives us some sort of solidity around the right.
This is the point. Like, I mean, that's why I feel like someone has to react somehow. Like if you bring in Fede into the midfield, maybe you were able to like introduce, I don't know, other midfielders as well into the middle of the park. So this is also just something that I don't know what's going to be the solution honestly tonight, but something has to give. Someone has to react. Either a new body has to come in, or the coaching staff has to react, because like this combination of Lucas Vasquez and Tchouaméni is not going to take us anywhere. It definitely isn't going to take us anywhere. It's a it's a weakness that teams are targeting week in, week out, and they're going to keep targeting this. This is just the truth. You understand? So we need to find a way to negate this. But how? This is the question. And the problem is that I honestly do not have confidence in the coaching staff in solving this problem. I just feel that eventually this is something that's going to keep happening. However, we're going to keep getting bailed out either by Jude or Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius or Rodrigo.
One thing I'll tell you, Farouk. One thing I'll tell you. Yeah, like neither do I, like for them to be doing this mid-season with the tools at their disposal, I don't think they really can do much. But I do understand your point as to which you think they are not technically adept to kind of fix this. I kind of relate to the sentiment. Right, we know how we stand on opposite ends of the divide when it comes to Carlo, right? But one thing I'll tell you, playing against Barcelona and how they effectively implemented their high line, which has backfired in their very faces time and time again this season. On the odd occasion, they come off from the game looking like they absolutely bossed it. But other times, like I've seen teams like Leganes, teams like you name it, Atleti, who they lost to. People would argue Barcelona kind of had a stranglehold on the game, but Atleti gave them plenty to think about. It's because they applied themselves so much better. So I would look at Carlo and the management and think, you had all this time to prepare. When was our game? The first Clasico was the end of October, right? October 27th, 28th or something,
October,
right? So there has been enough time to analyze what Barcelona did in the meantime, why they are where they are, who was once 5-6 points with a game in hand, leading the league, and then now they are third, right? There's a reason why they are there. It's because their high line is a double-edged sword. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it backfires so badly that they often find themselves without a way back in games they're comfortably supposed to win. So when you look at that, I would think that our players go onto the pitch and be a lot more aggressive, winning 50-50s, not being lethargic. Kamavinga throwing his foot out like it's nobody's business. That is a very viable example, a very viable 2-second. Like you can take that footage in a capsule and analyze the mentality of this side going into this game, because Gavi is at least 5-6 inches shorter than him, right? He is a midget. Kamavinga should be looking at getting in front of him instead of just throwing a bare foot, at his midriff, expecting the ball to kind of land comfortably into his foot. Like that just is a head loss decision right there, Farouk. So what this tells me is that the coaching staff and the players didn't really give enough heed to what Barcelona does so effectively. And when Barcelona can get away with this, once they saw that they could get away with this with the first goal, it was curtains. We couldn't react. Because if mid-table opposition, if guys like Atleti, who doesn't have the attacking threat we do, can take advantage of what Barcelona does into every match day, man, we should be looking at ourselves to blame, and solely ourselves. Because if you notice, there were so many instances where Vasquez and Rodrigo is on the right? And when Vasquez has the ball, Rodrigo doesn't make a run, right? When Rodrigo has the ball, Vasquez isn't overlapping. They just are confused. Oh, will I be offside? Will I be offside? Man, you guys have been playing for professional football for how long? This is something that should be second nature to you. You shouldn't be even looking across to the linesman to understand where the fucking line is. It should be part of your sixth sense. I just don't understand how you can basically coach that into a player before facing a specific rival. And Farouk, I would take solace in the fact that we wouldn't be playing Barcelona week in, week out. And I guarantee you, nobody would have the balls in Europe or in the world to play Hansi Flick's high octane, high line football, because although it has its merit, it has severe demerits that can derail a complete game plan for a given side. So I don't think even in the Champions League, no side is going to really be that ballsy, and we will be much more effective than we were tonight. But against Barcelona, this is going to be a thorn in our season if we continue to do this, because we're going away to the Montjuic, or I don't know if the Camp Nou is going to be ready by then. We're going to be playing away, and we need to win there to stand a chance in the head to head, and the aggregate scoreline doesn't help as well. But we can't go into that game with the same mentality and same tactics, Farouk.
I mean, I agree with you. Like when you say we're not going to play Barcelona every week, but the point is, we've played Dortmund. It was a scary game. We've played Liverpool. We could not win. We've played the shitty AC Milan team. We could not win. We've played like Atletico Madrid. We could not win. So when you talk about, okay, we'll take solace in the fact that we don't play Barcelona every week, it's not like we've been blowing big teams out of the water. No. We've played top teams this season, and Dortmund is the only one we've won, and that was even a comeback.
Can you call Atalanta a top side, and they could have almost equalized in the last week of the game?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we won at Atlanta as well, but that was, a game that almost slipped our hands as well. You understand? So, like, while I understand what you're saying about the high line of this and that,
yeah.
It's not like our team is firing on cylinders that we can say that. We can say, oh yeah, we take so it's just like Barcelona is a kryptonite and there's nothing we can do, about that. We can accept that and move on. But that's not the case. You look at this team today. Where is the creativity coming from? There is a high line, yes, but who plays the pass to exploit the high line? Who?
Yeah.
No one.
But that's the thing with Carlo, man. The approach was, how can we stop Barcelona instead of, how can we exploit Barcelona? Because if that was the mentality Ceballos would have started, he would have found the holes. Modric would have started. I don't think Modric was fit enough. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like Ceballos could have started instead of Camavinga, but then he thought, we need stability. I don't understand, Farouk. This is the gamble he took, and it backfired. I mean, if this was any other manager, he's getting sacked on the plane, Farouk. We know that. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because you see the way we scored the first goal, right? It was Vini who won the ball back, and it was Kylian Mbappe, and they were like 2 against 2 for the half of the field, and they ran and they exploited that space. You understand? But this was from a lucky break. Like it was just there was a tackle. Vini won the tackle.
And it was basically Pedri and Balde trying to defend.
Like this is the thing. You look at this, and like it's something that could have been exploited, but unfortunately for everything just happened everywhere all at once. Like Vinicius was out of it. Jude Bellingham was out of it. Rodrigo was out of it. Kylian Mbappe was the only one who was attempting to even make something happen, And then all of a sudden, it's not happening. One pass from Barcelona, it's literally, slicing through the midfield, because why? Federico Valverde is trying to cover for Lucas Vázquez as well, running and bursting his lungs over and over again. That eventually, I think that was where Rafinha's goals came from. You could not, catch up with Rafinha in time, and he missed the tackle and stuff like that. So you look at this, and you can talk about the management, you can talk about the players, but one thing that's obvious here is that like there is no concrete instructions, there is no concrete, how should I say, pattern of play. There is no concrete directions that has been imparted into these players, and even if it is, it means that it has not been clearly given to the players. Honestly, this is the thing. Like, okay, like we will keep going on, we will keep having these discussions until and unless Carlo leaves this club. We're gonna keep winning stuff, maybe. Not even maybe, it's Carlo. Carlo is a proven winner. We're going to keep winning stuff. But I am telling you, Sunil, every month of the season, we're going to keep having this discussion, because it's going to be just that one game that we come back to the discussion with. Every month of the season, we're going to keep having this discussion. This is just the thing. You understand? So we have players, but we do not. I mean, I was watching this game and I was looking at what's happening today with Lucas Vázquez, and I was thinking, bro, if this was Trent Alexander-Arnold, bro, we would have been 12-0 down by halftime. It would be 12-0 at halftime. Because no matter how shitty a defender Lucas Vázquez is, Trent is even worse.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. I have no idea how we're going to cope with Carlo and Trent in the same side.
I also don't know, man. Honestly, because this was crazy. This was crazy. Honestly, like it's. Yeah, I don't know, man. Because they keep.
I'll tell you, Farouk. I'll tell you something, right? Yes, we were bad. Yes, we looked like shit. But Farouk, like, I would like to kind of put this up for discussion. Carlos tactics, yes, we know, we sit like ducks, right, against top opposition in big games, against City, in the final against Liverpool. Like we have so many examples where we just sit like ducks and wait for the opposition to make a mistake or, just tie them up, eventually. But I do believe if Nacho stayed and we had a centre back that had some sort of solidity, we wouldn't be this bad. No way. No way, Farouk. Because this is the worst start we have had to a season since 2021, where we had zero trophies. If I'm not wrong, we didn't win a trophy, right? 2021?
Yeah.
When we went
No,
out to
yeah,
Chelsea and whatnot.
yeah, we didn't win nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Nacho in our side, I don't think we look this bad. Centre back is such a crucial position. And Farouk, just be honest with me. When you see Chouameni in action, do you think like he is comfortable doing what he's doing? He doesn't. He doesn't, man. He
Definitely, yeah.
doesn't, bro.
I mean, the point is actually just like as I've said a lot of times, like he hasn't, improved, and also now like he's just, a shadow of the player that he once was. Honestly, I feel like and not just in that sense. I feel like the confidence is also at an all time low for Tchouaméni as well. So and that's the thing I'm saying. Like honestly, like you look at Atletico Madrid. They got Ruben Lenormand from Sociedad at the summer.
Yeah.
You look at a
Yeah.
player like Vivian, a European Cup winner with Spain at Atletico
Yeah.
Bilbao. He's a player that Real Madrid could have gone after as well. Even when you get all your players fit, players like Ruben Lenormand and Vivian will make up that fourth defender, that third defender in your squad. You understand? Even if let's assume that Militao comes back and he's fully fit and firing and everything. You understand? When Nacho departed, you need one person to replace him. You look inwards, you look at Lenormand, you look at Vivian. These are players who have performed very well for their clubs and have done really well with Spain as well. You understand? So you could bring these people in for 40, for 50 million and, bring them into the squad and you can see what happens with them. You understand? They cover a body. But we looked at Lenny Euro for 30 or for 40 million and eventually didn't join and he went to United. So
John Martinez as well. He would be also be a candidate, but he got the unfortunate ACL and whatnot. So man,
but
the
again, man,
signings.
honestly,
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
honestly, in my opinion, everything was because okay, we can talk about the defense, but what about the midfield? Literally, there was no midfield. It was just one pass from Barcelona. Exactly the same thing, man. Man, I'm telling you, like, this is the thing that
Yeah.
pisses me off, man. Exactly the same thing. If you remember in the game against Barcelona at the Bernabeu, there was a Casado pass to Lewandowski. It was a goal. Directly. There was no even headache. It was
Oh yeah. I remember.
One touch football. One touch
Yeah.
Casado, Lewandowski.
It was almost
goal.
like all our players stopped playing. Yeah.
Today, Rudiger came up, Lewandowski found Yamal a goal.
Yeah.
Again, from the corner kick where I don't know, for some fucking weird reason, they played a short corner kick. Rodrigo give the ball. Who did he give the ball to? Was it to Pedri or to who? I can't remember. One ball, Yamal. Sorry, one ball to Rafinha. Rafinha against what's it
Rafinha to
called?
Balde.
Okay, Rafinha to Balde. Okay, yeah, okay. No, the goal that Rafinha scored actually, I think the goal that Rafinha scored. It was I think it was a goal from our short corner. They went there. They gave the ball to Rafinha.
Rodrigo. Yeah. Since you mentioned the short corner, I would like to ask Francesco, man. Like he is our set piece specialist. Why do we do short corners? Why the hell do we do short corners? I don't understand. Yeah, the couple of times it works, decent. Yeah, like I remember Fede scoring a banger. Was it at Rayo from the short corner or something? But we have had so many breakaways, being conceded from that stuff. Like I just never get it. Why can't we be a little more orthodox? Is it because we don't trust our big lanky men to get on the end of crosses? We have Rudiger, we have Chouameni. I know Mbappe is shit at it. Vinicius is mediocre. Rodrigo is an option. Jude is a definite option. Why can't we really put the ball in the box and hope for the best? This is such a risky move. I mean, Rodrigo kind of shat the bed with that, but yeah, bro, I'm out of words.
I'm always saying this, like, honestly, like, okay, even if Carlo doesn't go, the coaching staff needs to be rejuvenated. They need to be a new face in the coaching staff. Honestly, okay, Carlo doesn't go, he stays. Okay, he wins stuff, fine and good. You need one more person into this that gives something different. Come on, we've seen a lot of Guardiola's had how many assistants in how many years?
Yeah.
You understand? Like, so this is like you need. It doesn't have to be the main assistant, but he's just someone that comes in and offers a different. I mean, even Ten Hag at United when it wasn't working, he changed the coaching staff, man.
But this is the thing, since it's Carlo Farouk, I'll tell you, he'll never go a season without a trophy. Even this season, Farouk, I'll tell you right now, I know this is a bit of a far-fetched, we would still win a major trophy. that's
I'm
that's
not.
a script
That's why
right
I've
there.
said to you, like, whatever
Mm,
I've said, whatever my reservations about Carlo, I've always said is Carlo is the
mm,
man who's going to win trophies. I agree with that. But again,
mm.
I'm telling you that we're going to have this discussion literally every month of the season. We've had this discussion last year. We had this discussion
Yeah,
the year before that. We had the discussion the year where Benzema did his heroics. So this is a discussion we will continue to have
yeah.
until now. We're going to reach a point whereby there is no return anymore.
I just hope we just bounce back. I know this looks far worse than all the the winter hiccups we had in the past. I remember the Espanyol game right after the break. If you remember last year, um, what was it? The Copa del Rey exit against Atleti. We have had instances in Jan. I hope we learn from it, and more often than not, we just tend to do. Quickly, we'll get into the chat. Also, one last question before we move on to the chat forum. Yeah, Ancelotti has played 18 times against Barca in the Clasico. He has 18 Clásicos under his belt. He has 9 wins, 9 losses. When you look at it, it's a 50-50, right? The ratio is pretty split. But in my time as a Madridista, I know you started supporting the club maybe a couple of years before I did, right? You were part of the Pellegrini era as well. I wasn't part of the Pellegrini era. I was the part of the first Mourinho year. I started watching our club from the first Mourinho season. So if I take that from 2010 until now, I think the only guy who can, no matter what the circumstances are, Barcelona had some shit coaches in Tata Martino and whatnot. Even with that, I do think Zidane is the only coach who could go head to head, with them and come out looking not so shabby. Basically, like even when we lost under Zidane, it wasn't a thrashing. But every other coach apart from Zidane has had this Achilles heel, man. Farouk, like, am I wrong in my assessment? Am I being too pro Carlo in that assessment, Farouk? What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think you're being too pro Carlo, man. I think, okay, it's a 9-9 even split. I agree with that, but man, come on, like, it's been 4
Right.
nils. It's been 2-4 nils at the Bernabeu, man. 2-4 nils at the Bernabeu. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, Mourinho played against arguably the best Barcelona in the world, like the best Barcelona in the history of Barcelona, as you understand. And
Yeah.
then we came with Carlo
Carlo
Ancelotti, and
managed more years, you could argue,
we
stayed a
were
lot more.
winning Champions League, but still losing 4-0 at home. We were winning Champions League, but still losing 4-0 at home. Come on, like with Mourinho, that will never have happened. You understand? I do get the
Yeah.
point you're making that it's even split 9-9, and all the coaches, like, I mean, Pellegrini had the 6-2, Mourinho had the 5-0. No, actually, Pellegrini didn't have the 6-2. I think it was Schuster who had the 6-2. Anyways, like,
Yeah, it
Mourinho
was
had
before
the
Pellegrini.
Mourinho had the 5-0 and what is not. But like Mourinho was building a team. When the 5-0 happened, like he was playing arguably the best Barcelona in the history of Barcelona.
And that way as well, it was at the Camp Nou, so
it was it was at the Camp Nou, But we come and we're like playing well in good form, and all of a sudden Carlos shits the bed against Barcelona continuously over and over and over and over and over continuously.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I mean, I can
that in an
understand
isolation, you see Javier, who is a very calm person, right? Like, he is Carlo out. This is what a loss in the Clasico does to people, man.
Man, what happened, man? Maybe Carlo drank some of the tea I used to drink, man. Sorry, wait, Javier drank some of the tea I used to drink, and he's like, yeah, I'm silencing through Farouk's eyes, man. But anyways, man, I mean, I'm not
He
Carlo
didn't say
out.
that. Okay, just don't fucking make propagandas right now. He never said I see through Farouk's eyes. Okay, he would be blind
I know he didn't
if
say
that was
that.
the
I'm
case.
just saying maybe he finally
Fucking Farouk, man, it's propagandas. Come on, man, give it a break. But I do understand, you guys' point of view. Real Madrid against Barcelona this season: 2 games, 2 losses, 9 goals conceded, 2 goals scored. That is a -7 goal difference right there. If not for the red card, we wouldn't have scored that free kick, right, Rodrigo? People are saying Inaki Peña should have done better on the free kick.
I agree 100%. I agree with that 100%. You should have said that.
Right, let me get to the comments. Big up every single one of you in the chat. If you guys are new here, don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. Right, Mr. Fortress, big up yourself. He was mentioned, why is everyone surprised? Today wasn't a game against 19th place Valencia or some other bum team. Why are why are you all surprised a certain Englishman ghosted? Oh yeah, like he has the Bellingham agenda where he thinks that Bellingham ghosts all big games. Fair play. You have your call right for tonight, Mr. Fortress. He's also saying this is the final straw for that moron playing centre back today, making Hazard money look well spent. Reserve quality player. At times, Chouameni looked like a Sunday League player. I mentioned that in the chat. He looked like some of like I've been watching a couple of Copa del Rey games and their centre backs look a lot more confident than he did. I mean, Casemiro, bro, when Casemiro used to play centre back, he just slotted right in. That just goes to show, without your basics at defending in order, you can't really play the centre back position. You can get away with it at wing back. Wing back is a much more forgiving position. Yeah, you get turned, you have your centre back to cover for you. But at centre back, there is absolutely zero room for error. That's the reality. And you're playing in a fucking final against Barcelona. Mr. Fortes was also mentioning, I'm not mad at Lucas Vazquez. He's not a first team player. Everybody knows he's not good enough. Starting him today is on Carlo. I mean, yeah, Carlo has to buckle up and start using, I don't know if it's Aguado, I don't know if it's someone else from the academy. Someone else has to be found out before March. I do think we'll survive until then before March. But
man, honestly, I don't know how it's going to be.
I think he'll do, because if he doesn't, he'll get sacked, Farouk, mid-season. I don't think that's going to happen because
man, Carlo's not going to get sacked mid-season, man.
What if we lose badly? I mean, badly. In a big tie in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, you're already out of the Champions League, so nothing's going to happen. He's just going to finish the season and then move on with his life the next season.
I don't know, Mo.
I don't think Carlo gets. I mean, unless there is like a catastrophic run of like significant loss of form, I don't think anything happens to Carlo this season. At the end of the season, maybe he leaves. Maybe they find eventually they're like, okay, thank you, but no thanks. But I don't think. I just can't see the scenario where like Carlo eventually like.
I do think Carlo and his coaching staff, they all want to stay, so they should act like they want to stay beyond the season. There are some people who believe no matter what happens, we're going to hire Xabi Alonso at the end of the season. I am someone who wants him to stay just because, not for his style of play. I've been very vocal about that he is just a born winner. I just want my club to see as many trophies as we possibly can in my lifetime. That's just me. But yeah, he was saying, and speaking of Carlo out, so many people would be, seething. He's also saying, I am Jude Bellingham, the guy who only stat pads in games that doesn't matter. Please teach me how to stop being a coward and step up when it matters. He was a shot of himself, I'll be honest, but Jude Bellingham is...
That's very unfair on Jude Bellingham. That's very, very unfair. Boy, I can imagine, it's just coming out from emotions. Yeah, like when the emotions are
Mr. Fortress stayed up until 5:30 a.m. So yeah, this is the sleep talking, I hope.
Shit, man. I get what the man is talking about, man. I feel you, my man. I feel you 100%.
Yeah, Ashik was mentioning Jude set up a play for Rodrigo and he was through, but Rodrigo, as usual, lost the ball. But it must be Bellingham's fault that Rodrigo can't hold on to the ball. Right, Ashik was also mentioning Chouameni and Vazquez were responsible for 3 out of the 5 goals, and 1 goal was Rodrigo's fuck up. But I'm sure Jude Bellingham was at fault for those. Yeah, he's kind of trying to get back at them. I'm gonna completely, hop past that whole argument. Right. Yeah, Mr. Fortes is mentioning, what's your standard for Jude working hard? It certainly isn't work rate today. I do think the players didn't put enough of a shift in, because if they did put in a shift, we wouldn't be this far off. We wouldn't be conceding a goal right after halftime. It's just unacceptable the way we conceded. I thought, okay, yeah, like we're going to stem the bleeding right now. We're going to focus on getting back into the game or making the scoreline a bit more respectable. But what happened was more of the same. More of the fucking same. Right.
That's why I told you actually, so that's what I was saying. Like for me, I feel like we can talk about the management and the players, but one thing that was obvious today was either there was no instructions or the instructions weren't passed on clearly. Because I mean, come on, how can Vinicius, Jude, and Rodrigo in the same match be shit, bro? In the same, I mean, come on, like something has to give somewhere, man. Like honestly, I don't know. I just feel like there was just either the instructions were not
clear.
They were shitty instructions.
That's a very valid valid point. Like a couple of players having an off day is completely normal. It happens, I think, to all big teams, all small teams, all mediocre sides. You name it, across all divisions, across any league, anywhere on earth, right? But the collective collapse is usually on the coaching. It is. Right. Ashik was mentioning. I mean, Fortress was mentioning saying Jude is bad doesn't mean everyone else is off the hook. This is faulty thinking. If you look at what else I said, instead of freaking out over Jude, you notice I tore two other people apart. Right. Okay. Ashik was actually saying Rodrigo. I can't find the comment anymore, but he apparently said Rodrigo is no more a killer. So I don't know. I don't know what has happened to Rodrigo this start season. I can't defend any of this anymore. Like, to be honest, Rodrigo has to stand up and deliver. It's time. He's what, 24. There is no fucking about now. Yeah, this is the comment that he was mentioning. I keep hearing Rodrigo's a killer because he scored 2 goals against City 3 years ago. We are still living off Rodrigo's goals against City 3 years ago. Is that a fucking joke? He provides fuck all now. Yeah. Big up Hassan. He was mentioning was the last Clasico, not the wake up call or the Milan game. Right. Yeah. I was the title for the post match was called Wake Up Call. Was This is the wake up call to save the season. I hope people don't forget that. This isn't the end. This is no Champions League knockout semi-final tie or a quarter-final tie or the round of 16 tie. I know this doesn't provide good enough reading, especially if we're trying to predict what's going to happen. But this should be, a good enough midway point for us to wake up. I mean, if we can't hope for the best, I mean, why are we here? I wasn't so optimistic until, I was kind of taken over by Carlo, because Farouk knows how I was in the City tie second leg last year. I was calling for Carlo's head. I was, I truly was. But then this man just manages to find a way out. He just is Houdini at this point. Let's just hope he has one last final fucking trick for the season up his sleeve. But yeah, Ashik was mentioning Carlo will keep being stubborn, and thanks to Carlo, Madrid is now Barca's team to use for shooting practice. It's just a fucking joke. My life has come to just praying that we don't get thrashed by Barcelona. It's just a fucking joke. I thought once the golden years of the MSN and the Messis and the Guardiolas were over, we would be out of it. But unfortunately, nope. Right? I do think it's a psychological block, Farouk. You said it is a superlative way to look at it, but I do think there is a fucking mental block against Barcelona. Right. Big up Ricardo, he was mentioning, I told you guys before, Tchouaméni is not a footballer, and Carlos should have been gone from 2022. This was beyond embarrassing. Yeah, 2022, we would be missing out on a double, one of the most historic doubles that we have had in our, 121, 22 years of history. We won the Champions League without losing a single game, man. We got to respect what he achieved. I know. The moment is pretty bad to break up all those prior achievements. Big up Freddy. He was mentioning Barca plays the same. Barca plays the direct ball from the defense to the attack, and Ancelotti had no answer for that. Yeah, like what Farouk mentioned, like there should be like Farouk. If I actually kind of highlight these kind of plays, right? I do think I'm not a tactician. I'm not a coach. I haven't stepped into Carlos' mind or Francesco's minds or Davide's mind. I do think it is a dying breed. We can't really find any more pure defensive-minded defensive midfielders whose first instinct is to put out a fire before it even happens. Casemiro is one of those. Kante, all the people would say, yeah, like he's not actually a DM. He had a lot more to his game apart from being a DM. He was more of a workhorse. I do think he had that instinct. It is a dying breed. We can't really find those anymore. Like I don't know if they are some luck in in the lower leagues or stuff like that. But that is a vital position for a team like us who basically leaves our defenders on an island to fend for themselves. Isn't it, Farouk? Like if
Yeah,
we had
definitely.
a prime Casemiro, we wouldn't be this open in the middle.
Yeah, I do think like we might not be this open in the middle, but also, it's not just about that. It's about the fact that, like people are being drawn out of position constantly. As I
Mm.
mentioned earlier, like, with
Yeah.
Fede Valverde constantly moving to the right, trying to, cover for Lucas Vasquez and also what's it called, Tchouaméni as well. So I think that's the thing. It's not just about the single individual. I do think even if you have a player like Casemiro in there, you're still going to
Hmm.
suffer because like when you have deficiencies, when you have people out of position, or when you have positions that have been exploited by the opponents, your player is being drawn there to serve as a cover. So when you're being drawn there to serve as a cover, you're creating an open space in the midfield for someone else to exploit.
Mm.
So more or less,
Mm.
if the opposite team is able to play it pass out of that press that the DM is providing to them, that space that has
Yeah.
been evacuated by the DM is going to be exploited by the opposing team. So this is the thing. It's not just about like having. Of course, I do understand what you're saying in the sense that when you have that DM, like that specialist DM whose job is first and foremost to put out the fires. Of course, like
Yeah.
the defensive ability, the ceiling of the defense goes high, or rather, let's say the floor of the defense comes up. You understand? But
Mm.
the issue
Mm.
is that right now we're having players having to cover a lot.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if we had, let's say for instance, if we had like a defensive backline of Rudiger, Militao, and Dani Carvajal, I do
Hmm.
think we would actually have seen a more coherent midfield double of Fede and Camavinga. But because they're being drawn out of position constantly, I think this is why you see that there is
Yeah.
almost a lack of,
It is a domino effect.
protection.
It just is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Hassan was mentioning they targeted the places where Carlo is most arrogant, apparently. I get that. I get that. Um, most of Mr. Fortas is mentioning, I hate losing. I hate losing against rivals. I hate that I'm going to work in 2 hours feeling like crap. I hate this. I completely, I completely, understand the sentiment. It just is horrific. Yeah, like none of us are sleeping well tonight. But let's just not get too carried away. I know what 9 goals, 8 goals conceded, 2 Clásicos, but this Clásico doesn't matter, nada. It doesn't really hold any significance at all. Um, Moon 2002, big up yourself. Good to see you back. Bro, I hope you're well. He was mentioning, I already know if Vasquez plays today, we can't beat any big team. He needs 2 players to cover for him and all the middle of the pitch open for the other players. Yeah, yeah. Deron, big up Deron. He was mentioning Perez has been buying some shit players season after season. I think he mentioned no left back, no proper right back, no centre back. He needs to get some blame for a squad because Carlos signed any player. Carlo doesn't sign any players. It is the club that that is a valid point. The club has the transfer policies, but the blame is kind of kept at Carlos' feet also because, like what Farooq was mentioning, he does seem to be an S-man. He doesn't really voice what the squad badly needs, even if it's mid-season. I mean, you have to ask. This is basic fucking necessity. We aren't asking for gloss, right, Farouk? We aren't
Yeah.
asking for a
Yeah.
recognized striker, which is also time of the need. I know people would look past it because Mbappe has started firing on all cylinders, but if you notice in attacks, Mbappe is nowhere to be seen in the box to be on the end of stuff. He's
Yeah.
on the edge, like Vinny, like Rodrigo, like um, Jude is the only guy who's being a focal point. So we aren't asking for a striker. We are asking for someone who can give us some platform to build on. Um, but yeah, Mr. Fortas is mentioning Perez cannot run unopposed next election. Holy shit! These transfer decisions have been dodgy as fuck for the last 2-3 seasons. I mean, Perez is gonna win. That's just end of the story. Um, Right. Ashik was also mentioning we are going to continue to start with Vasquez and Tchouaméni even after today. Love Carlo, but this stubbornness is going to lead to a trophyless season. I just hope it doesn't. I just hope it doesn't. Um, if Carlo is still here next season, Asensio needs to leave, says Hassan. I'm telling you, Asensio is going to have a much bigger role from now until the end of the season. It just has to be. There is no other way. And he has to perform. That's also, the other condition. Like when given the opportunity, he has to keep up the same vein of form he has been showing with so much promise. But yeah, there is no shying away from the fact that the coaching staff has to put him in now. I mean, this is enough reason for Chouameni to not touch the defense, apart from the odd occasion where we're gonna kind of see off a game that we're comfortably winning. Darren was mentioning, secondly, Carl needs to go play a centre back at the position. Lucas is not a fucking right back. Bench the player who needs to be benched and play the players who has to play. Vinny hasn't been playing good. Play Brahim. Yeah, what was up with Vinny, bro? Attitude issues again. Do you think I'm being harsh? Why is he constantly moaning? I don't know. Why does he let the occasion get to him, Farouk?
Vinny again, man. As you said, attitude issues, man. Honestly, so this is the thing that we've said constantly over and over again. Vinny's 25 years old now. He's no longer a youngster coming through. Like he's now an established superstar. The best player in the world. So he needs to grow up, honestly. And I can understand why I mean, the point is you don't want to take the best player off in the world when you're trying to come back into a game, especially when the team is a man down.
Nobody would do that.
Well, the point is, that if Vinny stays here, there's a high chance the game ends with 10 men. It goes 10-10 again. You understand? So this is the thing, like, you just have to take him off, and you can understand that. And it's very unfortunate that unless and until he finds a way to, get past this, as we've seen in the past, like this is just, we saw the game against Valencia. It's just, pure schoolyard bullying. And, if Vinny cannot withstand that, like this is stuff that, this is stuff that you do in school, man. Like high school, not even, not in university proper shit like that, like when you're still young and stuff like that. So until and unless Vinny learns, to stop being that entitled and spoiled, child that has a story broken or some shit like that, I think this is going to be something that's going to continue to plague him, and teams are going to always, prey on that. If you can just, say something to Vinny or just, nudge him here and there, I mean, it's easier, and it's to the detriment of the team. We're trying to win, and the best player in the world is sitting on the bench. Why? Because he has temperamental issues. It's crazy, but this is the thing. Like it's something that Vinny definitely has to work on to to improve.
I think that's some things where the coaching staff really doesn't do anything regarding stuff like this. I was very keen to mention this to Francesco the last time. I spoke to him. I said, Vinicius has to fix this up because he's doing this not in the best interest of the side. Like I do think the hands-off approach applies to this as well. I mean, Carlo and his technical staff wouldn't really be keen on pulling Vinny over to the side and be like, yeah, like you should behave this way. They would be thinking, he's 24. He's a grown man. He should know what is best for the team. I mean, how long is that going to carry on until we lose a crucial game with him being sent off? Is that what it's going to take? Because that is fucking naivety. This is a bus crash waiting to happen. The brakes are already off. The brakes has been off ever since I don't know, the Valencia game a couple of years ago. It has been off. So I hope he fixes this, man. But yeah, where was I? Mr. Fortress was mentioning, if I was Asensio or Arda, I'd ask to get out in the summer. The way these two are getting treated is a disgrace. Literally done nothing wrong. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Sahil was in the chat. Big up Sahil. He was mentioning Vasquez and Chouameni. Horrible display. Barca ran circles around our backline in that first half. Shambles. Yeah. Hassan actually posted Carlo quote. He mentioned at halftime, I told the players, let's see if we can start playing football. I hope he didn't say that. Mr. Fortis is mentioning no more old free agents. Spend some money, bring in someone who can be a stalwart. Ignacio or Scalvini. He shouldn't have brought Asensio in at all. Poor kid. Yeah. Even Ashik was mentioning it was a joke. Even Javier was mentioning in our group chat as well. It was a joke to throw him on to save the game. Right. Cordero was mentioning Carlo doesn't have any tactics whatsoever. He's depending on individual players to get him out of jail. He's been doing that since he came back at Madrid. I don't know what to say in response. The only thing I can say is the fact that whatever he does, he wins trophies, and that's all that I care about. I know this is This is a very bad day for all of us. I'm losing my shit inside, but I just have to keep calm. I just have to. I can't be losing my shit like it was in October. Um, Ancelotti apparently also said Mbappe played a good game. The rest, let's forget it. At least he was being honest there. I mean, you know, um, right. He also said apparently we were bad from minute 1 to the end, even 10 against 11. That was also another shocking indictment, right, Farouk? We just hoped, the added man advantage would give us some sort of you know, an energy, some sort of a kick, at our backsides to kind of go again and force the issue. But Farouk, it just looked like even if we had another 45 minutes tonight, we wouldn't score a goal.
I agree, man. That's the thing. Like, even when we went 10 men down, we scored the free kick, and I think we had one chance. I think one or two chances where what was created outside of, just lumping the ball into the box. I think we had just one or two chances. I think I remember one of them was to Jude from that phenomenal Kylian Mbappe move where he backheeled the pass to Jude, and, like, Jude was unable to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And I think what was the other one? I can't remember. Was it Rodrigo or I can't remember. I think there were just one or two chances, and that's just it. Other than that, like, it's just,
I don't give a fuck. I couldn't care
something
less.
like that. Yeah. So it's that's the thing. Like, that's the worst part. It's like you're playing against 10 men. Okay, now of course, like when Barca is 5-2 up, why would they attack when they have 10 men? They're just gonna keep their calm and try to what's it called? Just see out the game more or less. But there we are, like continuously. Unfortunately, we could not even create a proper chance. Out of that, it's 10 against 11. We played for more than 30 minutes.
Credit to Barcelona, they just ditched their ideology of, like, we're going to play some high octane football. Let's go back to basics, defend as a 10, see out the lead. They did just that. Lewandowski was doing that as well, and the couple of times they broke, they almost threatened.
Exactly. Like they've broken numbers. They've broken numbers as well. It's not like they broke like with one person up the front. They broke in numbers. And everyone was putting in a shift. Credits to Hansi Flick and Barcelona. It's like they deserve it winners.
Omar is in the chat. Big up my Madrid fans. He says Hansi Flick 9, Real Madrid 2. Yeah, I just hope we can still speak end of the season, Omar. Yeah, the jury is out still on Hansi. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I know he has our number for this moment, but let's see what he fetches Barcelona in the immediate future. That is, right. Hassan was also Ancelotti said Vasquez and Chouameni. I won't talk about any player in particular. We are a team. Right, Zir talks. Was here big up Zir? He was mentioning hard luck, guys. Yeah, I mean, I wish we had the Bayern run. Basically having to just deal with Leverkusen. In the Bundesliga, and they seems to have a number on everyone else. But for us, it's just been, even in the Champions League, we have had high profile losses. But yeah, big up yourself. Right. Mr. Photos is mentioning this is worse than the 2010 5-0. I don't think so. No. I mean, the feeling is pretty raw, pretty, hot at this moment in time. But I remember that was my first proper Madrid game. I used to watch highlights here and there, but that 5-0 at the Camp Nou was my first proper game. And I wasn't even mentally or emotionally attached to the club as much, like I was a casual. I used to watch football casually, so that was my first foray into our side, and that just shattered me. And this is nowhere near. Like, trust me. Right. Okay, Ashi was mentioning how the fuck do Leganes, Sociedad, Celta, Las Palmas, or Osasuna can take advantage of Barca's high line. Meanwhile, Madrid can't with two of the fastest forwards in the world. I mean, yeah. This is the shocking L that Carlo and his boys have to hold. Unfortunately, if Barcelona were executing their high line to the T every match day against big and small opposition, we would say, okay, yeah, they're invincible, right? They look like that for large parts of the season, but last month or so, there were blueprints right there, Farouk, for us to follow. But
I agree. That's the thing. It's quite interesting. The first game we played against them at the Bernabeu, like it was just offsides, and offsides. And today it's just we couldn't even just find those passes. There was literally absolutely no penetration from the team. So it's quite as you said, the blueprints were there. We just could not implement those, which is quite
yeah,
sad considering the talent that we have in the team.
yeah. Right. Mr. Fortas was mentioning, Chouameni, I hate you. Unlike most of the others, you have no 21-22 Champions League shield for how you have performed. I mean, Chouameni was decent last year. Even last year was tumultuous, especially considering the chopping and changing of the midfield equation with Kroos stepping in. With Fede sometimes Kroos stepping in with Chouameni. But I think he handled himself pretty well last year. But yeah, this year the jeopardy is just too high. Just too high. Right, Hassan was mentioning Chouameni is garbage. Ashik was saying in training, our players probably are telling Chouameni what they are going to do. What they said, do you think they sent him a memo? You know what? I'm gonna just run to the byline and cut in right now so that you can basically keep track. Probably, I don't know, man. Farouk, Kamavinga, Mbappe, the French coup. Can it happen? Farouk,
Nah, come on, man.
No.
Nah.
Do you think that's out of the equation?
Okay. Nah.
If Farouk says that is improbable, I would bet on that. But yeah, Ashik has a point. Ashik has a point. Mr. Fortress, Ricardo, big up Ricardo, is mentioning Chouameni is physically and mentally slow. I don't care about the physical slowness, because he is good when he is on it. It is the mental slowness that really worries me, because he is a couple of plays behind the action every single time there is a big moment that cries out for Chouameni. I mean, I see some good blocks against sides that we can deal with against the mid-table sides. He's a decent step in. If someone is having a flu, has to sit out a game, Chouameni can step in center back and make a decent job out of it. But given these high-profile games, against top quality strikers and wingers, he gets found out. I don't know what to say. Right, Mr. Fortes was mentioning, I used to play Sunday League. I think I can take Chouameni's place now. Thank you, Chouameni, for giving me hope that I can be a pro footballer. That is. I mean, you guys haven't seen Maguire when he was shit. I mean, Chouameni is better than that. I'll be honest. But yeah. Ashik was mentioning Chouameni, Rodrigo can fetch good price for the centre back and the right back. I don't know, man. I don't know. Aram Zidane, big up yourself, was mentioning Vasquez was Barca. But the Vasquez equation, I always point this out. When he goes forward, he makes shit happen. And he has saved us on so many occasions. Going forward, Vasquez is a viable threat. Yeah, Hassan was mentioning we won't sign a right back because we want trends. So Florentino will want the academy to be used. Carlo won't use the academy because he won't trust them. So Vasquez and Chouameni will be the regulars. No, Lorenzo Aguado has to start against Celta at home. It's going to be easy. Celta will be missing Iago Aspas. So we have to kind of give these guys some platform to build on and perform and show us that they can do a job. Right. Mr. Fortos is mentioning we have no cover for DM and right wing. Let them go in the summer when we can get the replacements. I'm not putting Arda there to drown under the pressure. Hassan was mentioning Carlo, Davide Ancelotti, gracias y adios. Thanks and goodbye. My goodness. Like, I've no idea why we have got to this position. Right. Who is ready for Camp Nou? Asks Mr. Fortress. Farouk, I don't know when we are playing them. I think we are playing them in April, if I'm not mistaken. Do you feel like we'll be in a better position by then? Any indication that we can be up for the task at hand? We have to win and by at least 2 to 3 goals margin. It's never going to happen, the margin, but can we at least win the game?
I definitely think we can. Why not? I mean, this is the point. Like,
Mm, mm,
it's Real Madrid. It's not like we're a team of paupers, man. Like anything, we all know that we peak in the spring. So that's the thing. Like, I think history tells us
mm,
that we're gonna be in better position to come that time.
mm. Right. Mr. Waters is mentioning I lived through 9-10. I'll survive. Carlo won't. Ashik was mentioning yes, Kama made a mistake today, but he consistently is reliable. And Carlo even benches him against Valencia. Once Kama came on, we woke up. Another match, Carlo started with Tchouaméni. Kama did start, and he was winning a couple of decent challenges, but again, just like the whole midfield equation, he just looked out of his depth. Big up Mo. He was in the chat. He was mentioning Ancelotti against Barcelona and Atleti. 24 matches, 15 defeats. Holy shit, that's a damning stat, man.
24 matches and
24
15
matches,
defeats.
15 defeats. 3 draws, 6 victories against Barca and Atleti. That is a mad stat. That is the mad stat. That is the horrible stat. My goodness me. My goodness me. 24 matches,
Crazy. That's a
6
lot, man.
wins.
Exactly, 24 and 6 wins. But then come to think of it, man. Like, I mean, when you look at the games we've played against Atletico Madrid, like, we haven't been very successful against Atletico Madrid on the card also.
I remember the 4-0 thrashing. 2015, was it?
Yeah,
2015,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah, I think I remember. Yeah,
Torres
was
scored a
it
couple. Was it?
Saul? I think was it Saul as well? Was there? I
I can't
remember. Like,
remember. I don't remember the
yeah, yeah,
shit days, but I do remember the scoreline. And
yeah. I remember the 4-0.
my
I
best
remember the
friend, is
4-0.
an Atleti fan, and he
I
was
remember,
over
I
the
remember the
moon.
4-0.
4-0. I think it was away. I think that was the
Yeah, exactly. It was
saving
at
grace.
it was at
Vicente
the
Calderon.
Calderon. Exactly, it was at the Calderon then.
Right. Ashik was mentioning we are still dreaming about Trent, another player with history of defensive fuck-ups, and Trent is using us as a bargaining chip. I have no idea.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. Imagine if Trent stays at Liverpool, which I do think is a very big possibility. If Trent
Mm.
stays at Liverpool and all this shenanigans,
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
for blow, we have to start finding new centre backs, man. That would be crazy. I'm sorry, new
and
right
we
backs.
and we waste a season basically, right? Because we don't go after anyone in January thinking that this guy's going to show up in the summer. It's funny. It's funny. Right. Okay. Ashik was mentioning we are going to lose the derby as well. Watch with Tchouaméni in centre back and Lucas covering right back. Atleti don't need to show up. We will lose. Right. Apparently, Perez was caught by the cameras telling Modric sometimes we have to lose a final, don't we? Yeah. Right, Marcus Galactico, big up yourself. Was mentioning Tchouaméni needs to go. Yeah, a lot of knives and forks out of Tchouaméni, and rightfully so, man. Like even in midfield, he has been shit. So he's been, you know, can you say it being demoted? I think it is a demotion down to
Yeah.
centre back to save face, and you know, rest is history. Rest is history. Big up Mo was mentioning we'll look bad even if Nacho was here. Sorry, this season Ancelotti has shit the bed with his tactics. Oh yeah, yeah. It was to my earlier comment, but I do think personnel would have drastically improved his chances. I mean, I can't really defend Carlos' tactics, but yeah, I still stick to my belief. Maybe that's me being a little open crybaby, at this point because I just don't want to maybe face the truth because I love the man so much. I don't know. Um, right, Mr. Fortes was mentioning knowing the target defensive strategy, the club will go for Van Dijk now. I don't think it's going to happen.
Van
I
Dijk,
don't think
why? Nah, that's not happening.
it's not happening. Mo was also mentioning we looked shit even with Militao. Right, right. Farooq has become completely Italian with these hand gestures. Yeah, he's gonna be next. We see Farooq in person probably soon enough. He might have joined the mob. We might have to call him Farooq Soprano. I don't know. Mr. Fortes is mentioning if Calafat is watching this, please, bro, Anto Silva, Giorgio Scalvini, Ignacio, please, 2 out of these 3. I'm not sure about Anto Silva, nor Scalvini, nor Ignacio, because how much are they gonna ask, in terms of price, at least 40 to 50 million,
Scalvini has
right? I
had
don't know
actually
about.
two major. I think Scalvini's had two major injuries. I think in the past 3 years. So I think that's something that to watch out for as well.
Okay, then I don't think we are really going to be too keen. Like if
I
you
think
notice,
Ignacio is the guy from Benfica. I think that they're gonna ask for 80, 90 million. Those guys. So I don't think
yeah,
we're
there's a
gonna.
reason why these guys haven't moved. It's because the asking price is too much. If the if the
Yeah.
if the Premier League whales haven't been able to pay for it, I don't think we'll be too keen. Especially when signing defenders, we have a cutoff. I do believe, especially in modern history, we haven't really been too keen on spending too much
I
on
think
our
both
back line.
this Silva and like Ignacio, like they're not. I don't think they're at least. So I just don't see them. I do think like players who's I don't know what their contract situation looks like, but I do think players who's at least based on what we've been doing, players whose
Yeah,
contract are about to end or like end in the last 2 years are players that we would look at. I think someone like Bastoni can be interesting because if I remember correctly,
yeah.
this summer he's going to have 2 years left on his contract, so I do think he might be someone that you want to test the waters with as well.
How
But
old is Bastoni now? 26?
no, he's way less than that. Bastoni is way less
Okay.
than that. I think he's like 24 or something like that. Because he started
26 to
playing while he
24
was.
isn't okay, but yeah, I get your point. It's below 25, so it's way less. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, even if he's 26, even if he's 27,
Yeah, 26 is prime.
still.
It's prime.
I
And
mean, so
defenders peak
I mean,
late.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
we bought Alaba when he was 30. We bought Rudiger when he was 31. I think, or the 29. Sorry, I'm not sure, something like this.
29, I think. Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fair. Like I think actually, I'm just looking. Bastoni's actually 25. But yeah, so
Mm.
if you can get him, so I think that's something that can be.
Marcus Galactico was mentioned. Leicester's accepted. This is another failed Galactico era. I don't think so. I don't think
Nah,
so,
come
bro.
on, like I mean, how would you just decide that just now? No, come on, we still have a very long way to go.
Galactico era happened before Mbappe. We won a double. We won two doubles, actually. So, if you think, I mean, 21, 22, yeah, you can say it wasn't really Galactico, but yeah, with Jude in the equation, I mean, surely. Um, yeah, Sensio's an academy graduate, but totally unfazed. Even showed fight against Lewandowski, who is a legend, right? Attitude for the defense, and he reads the game way better than Chouameni. Praise from Ashik, right? Marcus is also mentioning Carlo Ancelotti never defends a title in his coaching career. We have never, defended the Super Copa as well. I mean, that's another record that stands. Right. Mo was mentioning Juan de Ramos was the manager when we lost 2-6, Farouk.
Okay.
But yeah, right. Yashik was pointing out Ramos took over after Schuster was fired and we were already struggling. Right. Okay. Big up Moon, he was mentioning losses back to back against the Barcelona side who can't register a player and the worst Barcelona side of the last 20 years. It is shambolic. I don't think they are the worst Barcelona side of the last 20 years. I don't know where this narrative is popping up from because I've been seeing this all across Twitter and whatnot. Farouk, do you think that's the case? I don't think so. They're one of the more formidable sides, I would say, especially in terms of the whole club situation they had to deal with and still being pretty competitive. I'm not
I
sure.
would say like I mean like when for the 20 years is too much, but I would say like okay, this is not the best part of society, but I wouldn't say like they're the worst as well. Like
Yeah.
this is not the best part of society, but like this is a very competitive part of society as well. So this is just the truth
Mm.
of it. Like, but I don't get where people are coming from in the sense that when you look at how the difference between when you had like in the early 2010s, you look at the Carles Puyols and the Gerard Piqués, and now you're looking at
Mm.
what's you're looking at Christensen and those guys, like okay, Christensen's injured,
Yeah.
but like you look at the names, you look at that and you feel like okay, these guys are not what it used to be, like you go back, when you look at the Jordi Albas, the Eric Abidals, and of course Iniesta,
Mm.
Xavi, you look at those guys and you see what you have right now, and you can of course say like okay, this is not what big Barcelona was at least in the 2010s.
You
I can
look at
understand
our
that.
side as well on the other end, Farouk.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like you look at outside as well. But I
They're
mean,
saying Cristiano, they're saying
but on
Benzema,
the
they're
other hand
saying
as well, I mean,
Ramos.
like it's you look at the front three of Real Madrid, and you see it's Vinicius, it's Rodrigo, and it's Kylian Mbappe. Like you kind of, yeah, on paper at least you feel like okay, these guys should be better than.
Which,
you know. Sunil, are you there?
Can you see me? I think my
Yeah, I
Wi-Fi
can
just
hear you.
went out. Okay.
Okay.
We are still
All right,
live,
cool,
right?
cool, cool. Yeah, we're still up. Still.
No, I was just going to ask you, like, will Vinicius or Mbappe start in our 2016-17 double winning side?
Nah, man, I doubt it. Maybe Kylian Mbappe, maybe, just maybe, but I doubt
Mm,
it, man. But I do think, nah,
okay.
they don't start, man, honestly. I feel like they don't start,
Mm.
honestly.
Big up Mo, he was mentioning we must have subscribed to an alarm clock for the season because we get a wake up call every game. He's probably firing shots at me as well, for the caption. I mean, if people expected me to lose my shit over, this glorified friendly, I wouldn't. But the Clasico loss still hurts. But I still do have, a pretty big soft corner for Carlo, and I'm gonna stick by it. It has seen our club out, seen me out through some hard times. So I'm just gonna back the guy. Um, right. Ashik was also mentioning this is a wake up call because we keep hitting the fucking snooze button after every embarrassment. I mean, that's also a good way to look at it. Um, Mr. Fortis was also mentioning, hey, it's 2010 again, except this time it's against a team that can't register its players and not one of the best teams in history. Hassan was mentioning Luka Modric was the only player to speak to the media after the game. At least someone came out. Last time there was no one. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess I'm going to read a few more comments and call it. Right, Mr. Ford was mentioning Bernabeu needs to bring back booing. I don't know what's happened recently. Bring it back. Germany got booed recently. I know it isn't as harsh
Yeah,
as it
exactly. Yeah.
used to be. Actual fans are getting priced out of the stadium. That's the reality. That's one thing. And the world as a whole, and football as a whole, and our society as a whole has gone soft. That's just the way it is. We can't expect how the world used to function 10 years ago, to be the norm now. I should also mention if I was Thibaut and that's the defense I see in front of me, then I'd just retire. Pick up Marcus. He was mentioning the stinginess from Perez is hurting us this season. Right. Yeah, Ashu was mentioning in this match, the warning signs were there early. But Thibaut made some stellar saves. Rafinha had an open header, which Thibaut saved. Yeah, I knew it. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised when they scored. Right. Rahul is in the chat. He's celebrating. Big up Rahul. I hope Atleti gets to hang on to the 1 point lead they managed against lowly Osasuna. Winning 1-0. Sid was at the game. He was telling me, I really should have done something else instead of going and watching Atleti have a trap. But yeah, big up Rahul, man. Big up Abhishek. He was mentioning Carlo out. ASAP, that man has an obsession with Aurelian and Mendy. They perform bad every single time. Still no actions. What the fuck did you learn from your last El Clasico? It's so painful. I can't sleep. Mendy as well, Farouk. Where does the bar drop, right? It's so bad, Mendy, man. All these people I used to back to the hill, they're just letting me down at this point.
Competition is needed, man. We need serious competition, honestly. We need serious competition. And that's the thing, like Mendy knows that
Fran
he
isn't
don't
good
mess
enough
up.
competition. Nobody's going to be
Yeah,
threatened by Fran Garcia.
that's true. That's true.
Right, a few more of the comments. McAlely at this age can probably do a better job than Germany. Facts, says Ashik. Yeah, Ashik was also mentioning if we keep playing two men down, Rodrigo and Germany start and then hope Vinny finishes the game on the pitch. By April, we'll be given Barca Atleti a Paseo. I just hope you're wrong. I just hope you're wrong. Also was mentioning 70 million bid comes in for Germany in the summer. Would you accept yes or no? I would
Yes.
take it, cash in,
Yes.
buy
Bro,
myself
what
a
is
solid
that even
CDM.
a question, bro? Cool
70
cash.
million
Take your money, man.
is a dream. It's never happened in Farouk.
Yeah, exactly.
We get
Never right.
50, that'll be a good. Out of goodwill, I think many clubs would be willing to give us 50, especially since he has what? He signed a 5-year contract in 22. So he'll have 2 years remaining. I'm not sure 50 is even on the cards. I'm not sure, not sure. Right. As I was mentioning, apparently Sporting wanted 35 million for Inacio, but Borussia can't pay. Just 35, yeah? I haven't seen much of the kid, to be honest. But people seem to rate him. Right. Right. Ashik was mentioning we have a need to strengthen our defense, and we signed a fifth division player, Lamini Fati. 100K is a bargain only if you can sell him or if he can perform. Yeah, that's one for the future. Abhishek was mentioning you can spend 60 million on Endrick, someone we don't need, but 70 to 90 million on Chouameni, but you won't buy a right back when we need the centre back. What a joke. Right. Rodrigo was horrendous, says Abhishek again. Moon was mentioning if Vasquez can play right back, he needs to be solid in defense. I don't care how good he is offensively. Yeah. That's also a valid criticism, like that's why you can't really, kind of defend these players. They're being played in the position. They should know the basics of the position. It's just the truth. Yeah. Marcus also was mentioning your best centre back is on the bench. Carlo likes to please the senior players. I think that's about it with the comments. Farouk, any final thoughts? Thursday, Copa del Rey, round of 16. How do we mentally recover in 2 days?
I mean, we need to go into that game, definitely we need to go into that game and just, play a very strong lineup, in my opinion, because we need to bounce back from this, because this could, be a psychological defeat, not just a defeat on the pitch, but also could be a psychological defeat to the players as well, concerning also the performance. So I do think, the players need a bit to stretch their feet, to stretch their legs. So I do think playing, okay, not all of the starters, but at least, putting a couple of the senior players in there, to show a very strong performance, especially because it's going to be at the Bernabeu as well, to give a very strong performance against Vigo, to at least regain that confidence and that morale back in the squad. So I'll be looking forward to a very strong performance by the team on Thursday.
I hope Lorenzo Aguado starts. I hope Asensio starts. I don't know if Diego Aguado would start, but yeah, some fresh faces, especially in the back line, wouldn't hurt. I don't know if Fede is going to be dropped. I hope he gives Fede, a sort of rest, and if needed, brings him on. But yeah, Vini, Mbappe, and those guys, they need to start. They need to start to score some goals. But one more question, Farooq. I just need to ask you this. Barcelona were in a slump, right? They won, what, 1 in 6 or 7. It was that bad. They're going to take a lot of confidence from this game, right? 100%. This will mean a lot more to them because they won. They have the trophy in their hands. They're going to be flying back, celebrating, right?
Yep.
Will this have radical implications on where the league is headed in May?
No, I do not think so. I definitely do not think so. I don't think this is an isolated event in its own, and I do think eventually we're still finding up ourselves. I've always said we've always looked better in spring, so I do think we're gonna get back into that form, and with Barcelona especially with all the controversy surrounding them, what's gonna happen with Daniel Olmo and Paul Victor, we don't know for now. Okay, yeah, they've been able to play, but in the long term, we don't know if that's gonna happen. Of course, Barcelona are gonna welcome.
They're registered, Farouk. They're registered.
Are they registered? I thought they were like what's it called? It's like a temporary registration until the final verdict is being made.
I read that, and then I read that they were registered for La Liga, remainder of the La Liga season as well. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay,
maybe tripping, but
yeah, the point is, okay, Barcelona welcoming the players back into the team as also and Atleti also is doing what Atleti is doing. So I think this game is an isolated event, and I don't think it's going to have a bearing on what happens, at the end of the season, considering that we have to play only Barcelona once. So so even winning that or losing that doesn't eventually dictate who's gonna win the title. So I just feel like eventually we're still not yet at our peak. We're gonna still hit a peak, and there's still a lot of games to play. So I do think this game, while it might affect the morale and the confidence of the players, I do think overall it doesn't have a bearing on who's gonna win the league or not.
Do you still believe we'll win a major honor this season?
Yeah, I do think so. I do think we're still in for a shot.
One of the Champions League or the league.
I do think the league is still ours to lose. The Champions League, I'm not too sure because right now, actually, I'm not too confident in all the teams actually that are playing in Europe, honestly. So I do feel like it could be, a shootout just between, who's on form that night, not just who's on form throughout the season. So
Yeah.
that's why, like, for the Champions League, I'm not too sure because I'm not too convinced about the teams that, are up there, at least in the
Right.
Champions League table right now.
Right.
But yeah, I do think like we have a shout there as well, but I feel more confident with the league.
Like what Farooq said, I hope the team learns that this is something that we learn from, and not not basically kind of decide the season on. And I'm sure these guys will be working hard to kind of bounce back, because we need a win at the Camp Nou. No matter if Barcelona is 2 points behind or we have a 3 point lead, I don't care. We just need to win the game to have that psychological edge, not just for the season in the league, but for what awaits us in the Champions League as well, because we are playing them late in the season. So if we are still surviving in the Champions League, fingers crossed, touch wood, we are going to be needing a big statement win, at the Montjuic, not the Camp Nou, at the Montjuic, for us to have something to hang on to, psychologically. So yeah, I hope for better days. I hope the chat doesn't take it too seriously. This was a friendly, guys. I know Clasico, 9 goals conceded. It doesn't look right. I just hope this isn't the end of what was supposed to be, the start of a glorious era, including Carlo in that equation. I know many people would want him out, but I just ask you guys to give him time until the end of the season, and he wouldn't disappoint you. I mean, like what Farooq said, we would have discussions like this where he's incapable of, carrying out some game plans that we might require against sophisticated opposition, but he's a born winner. Let's trust him. That's what I would say. But yeah, like if you're off the board, you're off the board. I respect that opinion. But yeah, for the club, we need him to succeed at least until June. But yeah, on that note, until next time, people. Ala Madrid.
Real Madrid.